Greetings technology junkies, wherever you may be, it's Reverend J Parker. Now today, I'm taking a break from doing my usual crazy guitar videos played at 50 squillion BPM, which is very fast for all you non-guitar players out there. And we're going to do one of my famous unboxing videos. Well, what are we unboxing today, you may ask? Well, some say this day would never arrive, that disc-based formats were dead in the water and it was all going to be streaming stuff from now on. Well, that's not true, because today we've got, oh yes, this bad boy. Samsung Ultra HD Blu-ray player. Just got it this morning from Richer Sounds. It was the only one they had in stock and is actually currently the only UHD Blu-ray player available in Glasgow. And I've got it! Hurrah for me! Alright, so we're going to unbox this thing, take our first look and generally get to know the world of HD, Ultra HD goodness. So, in those immortal words, let's rock! Well, hello there! Now, depending on your point of view, this is either going to be one of the most exciting and awesome videos you've ever seen, or alternatively, the saddest and geekiest waste of life imaginable. If you're into the idea or the sight of a grown man opening a cardboard box, this video is for you. If not, then not so much. But let's assume that you are. So if you are, let's talk about what's in the box. It's Samsung Ultra HD Blu-ray player, model number UBD-K8500. Now, this is brand new, just been released in the UK, and I've just got it today, this morning in fact. So, what's the headline feature? Well, it is of course Ultra HD Blu-ray playback. That's 4K Blu-ray, brand new optical disc format, which has just been launched with 4 times the resolution of regular HD. Now, this player also supports HDR, which is high dynamic range, which means that the contrast ratio that it's able to deliver is going to be much wider when viewed on compatible displays. Now, the good thing about this player is that it's backwards compatible with all the existing optical disc formats. So it's backwards compatible with 3D Blu-ray, regular Blu-ray, DVD, CD. It will also support CD rewritable and other formats. In terms of audio output, it will do all the HD audio codecs, so it'll do Dolby Digital, True HD, it will do DTS, HD Master Audio, it also supports Dolby Atmos, and it also supports DTS-X. So it's fully spec'd, fully loaded, brand new model, up to date. So that's the overview. Let's go on and actually open the box. Alright troops, let's do it. Spin the box through 180. And to conduct this incredibly delicate operation, I require the kitchen knife of destiny. I've just retired the kitchen knife of oblivion. It's now in the knife graveyard in the sky, and we've imported this guy, kitchen knife of destiny. So it's his job today to open the box. So, security seal. I'll think about some really terrible pun with seals and security guards. I'm just thinking about a security guard going, ow, 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 ow. Anyway, right, so let's not ruin the moment here. Look, Ultra HD Blu-ray. Oh my god, I'm a bit excited. Oh, very attractive. Let's see. Here's the player itself, obviously, in its little package. Open that in a minute. Let's see what else is in the box before we get to the main event. Right, so the freebie they give you is the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray of the Martian. I can't do Matt Damon's accent. The Martian. Yeah, they give you that as a freebie in the box, so you can get watching some 4K goodness right away. Do like Matt Damon, though he was a bit annoying in Interstellar. That I didn't really enjoy, you know, but he's good in this, and this is a good film. Ridley Scott definitely returned to form with this video after the terrible mess that was Prometheus, which I didn't enjoy at all. But this one is a good one. So they give you a freebie. We'll be loading it up later. Alright, excellent. What else is in here? Oh, the accessory kit. Wonder how they shall accessorise this video. Could it be an attractive pair of earrings, possibly? No, I think on this occasion it's going to be the remote control and the power lead. Hurrah! Let's, do you really need to see a UK power lead? Well, if you do, if you want to fetishise about a UK power lead, there it is, there's the power lead. And the remote control. Now, I know there's been some controversy about this remote control because it is rather small and fiddly and a bit plasticky, honestly, for a unit which is well, it's not outrageously expensive, but it certainly wasn't cheap either. So yeah, remote control, we'll see how it performs in action, but it feels a little cheap considering this is a brand new flagship product for Samsung. So remote control, we'll reserve judgment, but it doesn't feel too impressive, feels a bit plasticky. And let's see what else. Well, it's the warranty card and instruction manual. Well, you know what we're going to be doing with that, don't you? Don't need that. Nope, no instructions, and there's nothing else in the box. Alright, excellent. So now, let's actually unwrap the player. Okay, here we go. Let's take the wrapper off. It's like when you just got married, for the first time with the love of your life, and you just undo that fleece to get to what's underneath. And you see what's underneath is, dum dum dum. There we go. Actually looks not too bad, doesn't feel too bad in the hand. Some people have criticised this unit for being a bit plasticky feeling, but actually it feels fairly robust actually. So okay. Alright, now I don't know if you can see this, but it's curved. Do you see that? I don't know what the deal is with Samsung and their absolute obsession with curved things. Pointless to me, but they've curved the front of the player. Yeah, it's not very pronounced, so when it's actually in an AV rack, I doubt it'll be particularly noticeable. There's not much on the front or on the back, but we'll change the angle of the camera and we'll take you around the player anyway and see what's what. Alright, let's have a look at the front of the player. It's fairly minimal. We've got the disc tray here, USB port, which is USB 3 by the looks of it, and then the transport controls. Stop, play, eject, and of course power button. Now we just tip the player over a little bit. You can see the sticker on the front, which touts its wares. Obviously brand new for 2016, Ultra HD Blu-ray player, 4K, true 4K playback. It supports HDR, which is a much greater and higher range of contrast, so the darks are darker and the brights are much brighter. But this is only available on HDR compatible displays. And although I do have several 4K televisions at the moment, none of them are HDR compatible, so won't be getting the benefit of that immediately, but we upgrade later on this year, then we will. Now it's also got a lot of streaming services on board, obviously as a Samsung player, as you'd imagine, fairly fully loaded in terms of the online apps. So you've got the usual suspects really, you've got Netflix and you've got Amazon, and the ITV player, YouTube, etc, etc. There's a whole ton of apps. Now the Netflix apps and the Amazon video apps are 4K compatible, so they will do 4K streaming and they will also do 4K HDR where available. So it's a 4K disc player and also 4K streaming, so looks pretty good from that point of view. Let's just peel off the top sticker and we can have a look at the finish underneath, see what the build quality is really like. Yeah, it's actually metal. It's not just a plastic effect brush metal, or is it? Unclear about that. It certainly has a brushed metal effect, but whether it actually has a metal case or not, I think is yet to be determined. Let's spin the player around and have a look at the back. Alright, at the back we have AC power cable, we've got optical digital audio out, we've got a LAN cable, RJ45 hardwire connection, though it also has onboard Wi-Fi, of course. And then there's two HDMI outs. And the reason there's two HDMI outs is that one of them can be used for video and the other one can be used for audio. Now, the reason this is important is this. If you have a receiver or a soundbar that doesn't support the latest copy protection protocol, which is HDCP 2.2, then you will need to run the video to your display, but use the sub output to run the audio to your receiver. So this is for those of you that own older receivers or incompatible soundbar, so you can still obviously get audio as well as video. Now luckily I won't need to do that because I'll just be running everything from the main output, because my receiver does in fact support HDCP 2.2 and 4K and HDR, although the display does not. So there we go. So like I say, not much to look at on the back. Minimal, but absolutely functional. Otherwise, it's a reasonably handsome looking unit. It is fairly light. The build quality I would describe as okay. It doesn't feel like a very high-end Blu-ray player. There's a Panasonic Ultra HD Blu-ray player, which is released roughly the same time as this, which has a much higher build quality, but of course is quite a bit more expensive. So it is the old adage, you get what you pay for, but I think in terms of functionality, you're going to get everything that you want. So the price is not that unreasonable, though of course much higher than the price of the player in the United States, which is fairly typical because we live in rip-off Britain. However, that aside, there's the unboxing. So what I'm going to do now is get this bad boy plugged in, set up, and show you a few screenshots and take you through, and possibly a little bit of video footage playing an actual Ultra HD Blu-ray. Wow, exciting. Alright, so next stop, let's plug this bad boy in. Okay, here's the player installed in the AV rack. Fairly unobtrusive, I think you see. Fits in well enough with everything around it, which is a generally black theme, as you might guess. If you're interested to see what else you've got in the rack, underneath it, surround sound receiver. It's an Onkyo 646, which is an okay receiver. It's not brilliant. I bought it mainly because it was just ridiculously cheap, end of line. Sky HD box, which is no longer used because we've let our Sky subscription lapse. Look at this for a Survivor. It's a Toshiba HT DVD player, which I still use occasionally. It's actually a really good machine with some really great playback capabilities. Anyway, it's a Survivor. Otherwise, the top, streaming boxes, got a Now TV box, got a Fire TV, and on the other side we've got a, you see that, High Media Q5. Alright, so we're pretty much sorted for all the streaming goodness, but that's the Ultra HD Blu-ray player right there. Okay, so let's just see what the setup looks like. Okay, here we go. I've just plugged the player in and we seem to have connected no problem at all. So, actually it's a very bright and sunny day today here in Glasgow, unbelievably. So I've had to draw the curtains so we can see what the hell's going on. So I know the walls look very orange, but trust me, this is not the 70s. We don't do orange walls. Right, let's just see what happens. Okay, painless. Wire connection, of course. Always LAN everything. Don't use Wi-Fi. Just the phones and the iPads on Wi-Fi. Everything else is LAN. We have to agree to Samsung knowing everything about your entire life ever. Okay. Aspect ratio, original, I think. And of course there's a software upgrade. This might take some time, so we might be back in a moment. Okay, and we're back. Now the player has just completed its firmware update, and now we're faced with this screen after a restart, which is just a help page, I guess. So I'm quite familiar with Samsung players, so I'm just going to exit this page, but if it's your first time with a Samsung player, possibly just need to take this into account, but otherwise I think we can forget about it. Alright, so option to play a disc, obviously no disc inserted at the moment. Multimedia for streaming options, that's on your local network, and otherwise we've got the online services, which there are a number. These are obviously just the most common or popular ones, and obviously they're putting Netflix and Amazon front and centre because it's your source of 4K streaming goodness. Now, usually Samsung players are really well specified in terms of options and so on. So let's just have a quick dive into the settings and have a look. Yeah, this looks very familiar, quite familiar with Samsung layouts. So, picture menu. 3D settings will be auto. Screen size, we can adjust. This is a 65-inch screen we're looking at it just now. This is a the screen that you're seeing just now is a Samsung, I think HU7000 from 2014, which was very expensive, but does not do HDR, of course. Otherwise, I think we're fine. Don't go messing around with the deep colour setting. We'll leave everything at auto. Everything looks okay. Alrighty, let's just see how the sound is behaving. digital output we want to set to bitstream unprocessed, because the receiver is going to handle all the audio. I want to let the decoding happen via the receiver, so unprocessed, which will give us access to all the HD audio formats that we mentioned: DTS HD Master Audio, Dolby Digital True HD, Dolby Atmos, and of course the brand new DTS-X. Everything else is fine there. Network, I know I am connected to the network. Everything looks okay to me. Alright, so this is fine. Don't need to mess around with anything else. All the picture settings should be fairly optimized. Alright, so I think at this point, after this incredibly brief setup, let's stick in the 4K disc of the Martian and see what it looks like. Of course, you won't get the full effect because this is only a 1080p camera, and you'll be watching it on YouTube at probably worse resolution than that, so you just have to take my word for what it actually looks like. Alright, so let's stick a disc in and see what's what. Okay, the Martian's loading up, allegedly. Let's see what happens. So it's telling me to connect to a TV with HDR, high dynamic range. Obviously this set doesn't support it. Well, right away that looks pretty good. Just turn the audio down. Let's just check that we are in fact outputting 4K at this point. Yes, absolutely we are. We can see that. So that's the information on the receiver. We are getting 4K signal input and output. There we go. Right, so it's processing it correctly. Looks good. Let's just play a bit. Don't know if you can hear that, the disc transport makes some noise. Obviously when the audio is cranked up you won't be able to hear it. Okay, let's just jump through this a little bit. Well, first impressions of the picture are wonderful sharpness and clarity.
Oxygen level critical.
It has to be said though that the picture is a little darker than I was expecting, possibly due to the fact that it's not an HDR display. So maybe I'll tinker about with the settings later on and see if we get a bit more brightness. Certainly the display will go a lot brighter than that. Yeah, the definition is really, really excellent. It's truly excellent. Okay, it's looking good. Right, that's probably enough of that. Get flagged for YouTube, by YouTube for copyright infringement showing a bit of the Martian. But anyway, so I think you can see that everything works pretty well and looks pretty good. So first impressions is, yeah, I'm going to enjoy this player a lot. I'll be doing a much more in-depth review once I've had a little bit of time to play around with it. So I think for the meantime, that will do for this first look at the Samsung Ultra HD Blu-ray player. High-res goodness. Alright, great. It's Round J Parker signing off. I'll catch you on yet another unboxing video. Till then,
Farewell.